Hello everyone. It's Shiny Noctowls, and tonight I figured it'd be nice to stream some more 2004Scape for you guys. It's been pretty hot today, but it's finally cooling off a wee bit. Also, it seems like with the latest updates, they changed the graphics or the what do you call it? The screen dimensions for the game. So I had to adjust the resolution of the game again, just in order to get it back to how it was before. You guys want to make any suggestions or edits of the resolution, let me know. But yeah, I tried to get it back to how it was before. I just think the what was it? I think the team just changed the resolution a wee bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me gift out some eye patches. Here we go. There's a lot of people playing today. Or, there we go. It's always fun. Always. It's so nice to see so many people playing today. It's always great. It's great. Hold on. There's so many people here. RV pirates. I don't know if I can do it like RPG, like army mateys. We be pirates. I think he does it better. I try though. Hmm. See. No? Come on now. I'm waiting for him. There's a warrior there. Hold on. Oh, nice. Hey, Siller. Nice to hear. Nice that you could join the stream tonight. By the way, they changed the dimensions for the game, the screen dimensions. So let me know if it's all right for you. If not, I can try to adjust it a bit more. A bit more. I tried to play around with it a little bit, but uh, right now I'm trying to see if I can trade eye patches to these guys. Give PK bones. He loves bones. I think I've already sold all my bones to someone else. I think Avatar or something, or it might have been someone else. I don't know. Wait, hold on. I got him. There you go. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well. Let me know if the screen resolution is fine. If not, I can change it. They changed the resolution for the game recently, so I had to adjust the screen again. If it's out of balance for you guys, I can move it. But if it's okay, then we can. Yeah, let me do a poll. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we can go. Oh, wait. One more gift. I think this goes perfectly with the rares event. Get a rare by bank standing. Okay, let's see. Yes, neutral. Okay, so one person uh doesn't mind either way. Another person says yes. Okay. Okay, I don't know what's with this guy. Nope, he logged off. Well, by the way, guys, I'm gonna log off just for a minute. It's really hot, and so, well, it's been really hot this most of the day, so I'm gonna wash my face real quick, and I'll be back. Oh, actually, wait. Hold on. Wait, before. Wait, hold on. I got him. No. Wait. He just... Hold on, wait. What you working on tonight? Trying to get 66 magic. That'll help to also get in here too. Wait, you know what? If I drink a mind bomb, hold on. I can get to him. I think he's trying to troll right now. Hold on. Wait. A gift. Hey RPG, I'm trying to give this guy a gift, and I think he's trying to troll me by saying, you can't enter the Magic Guild. And so I drank a mind bomb, and I got in here. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna still try to get 66 magic, but it was funny. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys have done this before, where you've been able to enter the Magic Guild with Mind Bomb, but hey, this helps if I want to buy runes at an earlier level. You can buy staves here, you can buy Chaos runes. Ooh, Fire runes. That's nice. Okay. Well, let me see who's down here. Just a bunch of zombies. Yeah, so okay, so the screen dimensions are fine, okay. RPG, I also don't know if you had to change your dimensions when they made the new update, because for me, my screen was all kind of wonky when I logged in tonight. Seems like everyone's fine with the polls so far, though, so okay. Okay, let's okay, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna wash my face, be back. I'm back, guys. Hopefully you guys are still fine. Keep slaying those dragons. You'll have 6/6, no time, 0 boosting. Okay. Appreciate the help, RPG. Always appreciate the positive feedback. Um, yeah. So seems like you guys are fine with the screen resolution. Okay. If you guys, for any reason, want me to move it just a smidge, just let me know. I guess it's like with the cursor, like when you guys wanted me to do that, so you guys didn't think I was auto-clicking or something. Which I wasn't, but yeah. Okay, let's see if we can get a rare tonight. I'll be surprised if we do, because apparently only 3 people have gotten rares so far, at least in the last 10 minutes of that I've been playing, so... But if we're the 4th person, or 5th, or however, then we'll be fine. Can you change to Dragon Scimitar? Well, Dragon Scimitar hasn't come out yet in this game. It'd be cool if I could change it to a Dragon Longsword cursor, though. That'd be nice. So it'd be like repping Lost City. Because this game is called 2004Scape Lost City. I still have to do that quest. That and Family Crest. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know how rare these rare items are. If only 3 people have gotten them, though, they have to be like I don't know if they're like 1 in 10,000 or something, like a dragon. For those who played old school, like a dragonic visage from like one of the higher tier dragons. Just got 65 magic. Okay, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a work in progress. I don't wait. Someone left bones here. I don't know why. They left arrows too. Okay. Oops, my bad. Wait, hold on. Ah, shoot. It's like getting 3 genies in 10 minutes. Oh wow. Ah, that's really rare. Okay, I don't know why I'm having problems maging this dragon tonight. Usually it's not so hard. Oh yeah, I have protect prayers, so maybe I should also utilize them now. I need to. No clue scrolls. We haven't gotten clue scrolls in a while. That's one thing I've noticed. It's like we were pretty good on them for a while. Then they just kind of ran dry. That happens though. there's one guy here. Oh, he's ranging Pansy. He's ranging with bronze arrows. Okay. I just view power leveling range. I don't know if you can get clue scrolls from Greater Daemons. If you can, though, maybe he has telegraph or something. So if you get a rare, does it like tell you in game? Does it say, "Hey, you got a rare," or does it just yeah, or does it just magically pop up in your inventory? Ooh, gem. There we go. Yeah, I saw RPG stream earlier today where he got like a whole bunch of items from a fellow from another player, which is really cool. No message. Oh, no message. Okay. So it just either pops up in your inventory, or maybe it just also drops to the ground. Maybe I don't know why. Okay, how about this way? Maybe that's one. Okay. Okay, how about if I mage it here? Okay, that's. Oh no. Did they change the safe spot for the blue dragons for at least for here? Cause unless if I'm doing it wrong, cause I usually don't. Let's see. This one's the same still, but oh, nice. Pizzazz. Okay, I don't know if I've met him before. Slayer. Got some more gnats. Let's see here. Okay, that's really weird. Because usually he wouldn't do that. Okay. I mage him here. Okay, that's odd. Okay, how about that is so weird. Yeah, they must have. I don't know if they changed the safe spot locations for some of the dragons, at least for this one. Usually I haven't had to do it like that. You know, maybe I can always do my other spot. Uh, this one's still fine though, so not like it's the biggest deal in the world. Train mechanic doesn't work yet. I posted in disk. Oh, did they release a new mechanic of some sort? NPCs will retreat and pull the player towards them when being attacked out of range. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, I see now. Yeah, because maging this blue dragon's so fine. It's just the other one. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, might be right. Not I can always just focus on maging this blue dragon as well. Another gem. How about if I... mage him here? Oh. Okay, how about here? Okay, this is fine. Okay, this might be the new spot then. Good thing I got my cat as well. Yeah. This is why I don't sell my cat, guys. Because, you know, he's also a good safe spot. I know those 2,000 death runes can, or 200 death runes can be enticing, but still. Oh, I see. I don't know, when I fought, like, I think one of the Khazard warlords for a quest, I think my cat helped me, I think. Well, if anything, he gives moral support, so... Yeah, he must. I don't know if he has telegrab because unless if he's power leveling range, um, I don't know what he's really. Yeah, maybe he's just telegrabbing the runeful helms or something. Yeah, monsters walk right through him. Oh wow. Steel battle axe. Let me ask him. Not a rare, but I got a mysterious old man. Okay, so he is telegraphing. Okay. Smart. And if he was just power leveling range, that'd be fine too, but that's pretty cool. It's not a terrible method. I think we'll definitely get 64 magic tonight for sure. That'll give us access to... Oh, we can do charge fire orb now, and 65 water wave, 66 charge air orb, vulnerability, and then 68 we can chant dragonstone, so that'll be cool. Alright. I know RPG was saying earlier about keeping a free inventory space, in case if a rare drops, but I'll keep tabs on my screen, and I think someone said Pazza would teleport to you anyways, so I guess that means like even if your inventory is full, like he would still like notify you either way, or not sure who Pazza is by the way, but they drop on ground, but running isn't an action, so you're good. Okay. Oh, he has a wee cat there. Ooh, Argon. Oh, did Elemental Workshop already come out? Okay, if it did, then that might be another good quest to do. Let's get bonus in smithing and crafting eventually. It did come out, yeah, okay. But the only reason I keep the fire staff is so I don't have to use 5 fire runes every time I high alch. Everyone, alright, everyone, calm down. I'm here now. Glad to hear, Maffy. Glad to have you in the stream. Crafting level is 25. So if I do Elemental Workshop, that would probably get me to almost 30. Then my smithing's 29. So if I did that, um, probably at least over 30 for sure. I think I can do it eventually. My goal right now is 66 magic, and then after that we'll focus on. We might even do Family Crest before Lost City. We'll have to see. So probably, well, if Elemental Workshops, I don't remember it being a long quest, so I might do that. And then I think, was it Egregious? I think Egregious gave me 200 silver ore that I can smith. Maybe craft stuff with too. Then I can go to Shiloh Village and mine gem rocks, and I can also get my crafting up that way. Yeah. Um, I think we'll be fine. I think it seems like it'll be tough, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad to get to 40 crafting and 40 smithing. Especially with Elemental Workshop, like that will also help. Um, and then of course I already have access to gem rocks. Uh, I could superheat, or I could just also you just put the iron ore in the furnace too. I'll have to see. Oh, he's using Firebolt. Okay, that's fine though. Just go. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. Just cause I don't remember how long Family Crest was either. Um, I don't. It might be intermediate, but I don't remember it taking as long as Biohazard. That was an interesting one. So shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. This is back in old school though. But yeah, so probably the goal is gonna be Elemental Workshop, Family Crest, and then Lost City. I think those will be the next 3 quests we'll do. Eventually, I want to do Heroes as well, to get the Dragon Mace and Dragon Warhammer, but I'll have to find a partner for that too. And also get the stats. I think you need 50 mining for it or something. So, but we can also get that from Gem Rocks. So. Oh, did he tele out of here? I don't know if he did. He might have. Yeah, he logged. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm in the Phoenix gang, so I don't know if that's the harder part of the quest or the easier part, but I still remember. Um, if you guys want to watch it, when I did Shield of Avarav, I got a level 5 to help me do the quest. He did the Black Gang part, And he said, "You tricked me. Why'd you get me to fight this level 20 weapon master?" And then I helped buy him some armor, like got him like a steel long sword, a blue wizard hat. He still struggled a bit, but I helped him. I gave him a whole bunch of inventory, like sardines and herring, and every time he needed more food, he'd come back. I'd help him, and it was great. He eventually got him, though, which is nice. I think now, like, he has over 40 attack, or, I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, it was great. You tricked me. No, you can do it. Okay, so it seems like the overwhelming majority of people are fine with the screen dimensions. Only one person was neutral, which is fine. There's a herb. Okay, I already see Family Crest being one. No worries. Yeah, we'll eventually do. We'll probably do workshop first because that's gonna help us do. That's gonna help us get 40 crafting, 40 smithing, anyways. And then Family Crest will probably be the next one, and then Lost City, just because that's gonna help me with my melee build eventually, my battle mage build. Then Hero's Quest. It's not like we have to do it, but it can help to get the Dragon Mace and Dragon Battle Axe alternatives too. Getting a rare, nice glue scroll. Yeah. Underground Pass, I'm not sure when I'm gonna do that one. Eventually, I think, but we got other quests to do first. All the above. No, I can't do it like that. That's okay. How about, can I do it like this? Okay, this is okay. Oh, hello, Zeki? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Hope you're doing well tonight. Glad you could join the channel. Glad you could join the stream, rather. Oh, nice. Hopefully that's going well for you. I like this one. This one's really good. Oh, 80 woodcutting. 55 prayer. Wow. That's pretty good. Wow. Doing pretty well. You got higher prayer than I do. Higher woodcutting too, especially. It's Baron, so. Oh, how about would this work? Bad yawn timing. No worries. They are. Is it 2 votes for Family Crest, 1 for Rare, nice glue scroll, and then 1 for all the above? Oh, good to hear. Yeah, I haven't got one in ages. The last clue scroll I got though was really nice because I got a rune plot, not rune plot. I got a rune plate body gold trimmed, which was nice. By the way, I don't know how much cooking you guys do, but I recently bought cause I had bought a new pan a while back for cooking, cause I usually like cooking burgers and sometimes I'll cook eggs and quesadillas and other stuff in it. And one of my pans is starting to wear out really badly because I've been using it consistently for a while now. And so the other pan I just noticed didn't come with a lid. I thought it did, but it didn't. And the lid I have for my old pan doesn't fit this one because this new pan I got is larger. So I bought a replacement lid, with tempered glass for like $18 on eBay. I thought it wasn't bad. I felt it was a tiny bit pricey, if only because I get a really good deal on the pans at my grocery store. Sometimes that also come with a lid. I think the one I bought with a lid was only like $10, I think. So, but yeah, it was fine though. It was worth it. Just because this new pan I have is really nice. It's just it needs a lid because I don't want the oil splattering everywhere when I cook food. Okay. Give me a sec. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it was pricey, but I thought it was worth it because if not, I mean, I could have still cooked with the pot, or with the pan rather. But yeah, I just figured, it was worth it. 'Cause I tried to find a new frying pan I could buy with a lid at the grocery store last time. I couldn't find one, so I just like we'll see how it works. At least it was free shipping too, so that helps. Because that was the cheapest option. I think the other option would have been $26. So I definitely didn't want to pay that much. So, but yeah, I never really eat out that much. Only time I do really is with like friends, which is very rare. But if it's myself, I tend to cook at home. It's a good skill to have. Believe me, it can help you. Yeah, because I don't know how it is in Britain, but I know here in the States a lot of people, as my mom would say, a lot of people don't like cooking here. Um, I don't know if it's the same in Britain or not. But I've learned to cook. I'm not the best cook, but I try my best to get better. So, well, I believe you. I just don't have the patience. We cook a lot here. Yeah. I think the problem with eating out, especially because nowadays a lot of people don't even drive to the place they go to when eating out. A lot of people use Grubhub, and that can be nice. I mean, my friend Dolly, that's how she got me ice cream for my birthday, was doing that, which is nice. The only problem with that is sometimes it can be super pricey. Uh, Especially because I've seen videos. I don't think it's happened here really, but I've seen people, like the drivers sometimes will get very particular about the when I need to get food. Very particular about like tips and all that. So it's kind of yeah. I use Uber Eats a lot, trying to cook more. Yeah, yeah. I know it can be convenient, which nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's like in RuneScape. You learn how to cook, or you can also buy food from people too, of course. Um, but yeah, cooking is a good skill, whether in this game or out of game. You know, it's just like you have to have, well, of course, patience is key, preparation, um, and practice too. But yeah. Oh, there he is. I'm not good with having multiple things in the go either. I throw everything into one pan. Oh yeah, for sure. I haven't ordered eating out for a while. My little brother birthday, but dad paid, so I don't count it. Rather make it myself. Yeah. Um. Also the other thing I do too, because where I live in my apartment complex, fortunately I live in a nice place, thankfully enough, nice and economical. Um. Oh shoot, my bad. Oh. Funny. Oh, that was nice of him. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Toy horsey. Yeah. I was gonna say real quick. That a lot of people where I live in my apartment complex, they throw a lot of stuff away in the dumpster. And so what I do is they have a local thrift store here. Is whenever I have stuff that I can't use, like sometimes it can be like an old keyboard, certain pots or pans that I have had for years that I don't use anymore, other stuff, I'll just take it there, donate it to them, and they're usually fine with it. Thought he gave you an eye patch for a sec. Oh, no worries. I think I've given him one before, but I gave him an extra one just because I felt like it was good. Well, yeah, that's what my friend Ben would say too. This isn't even about where I live. It was where he works at Target. And this is one thing I will give credit to people in Britain. I don't know if it's all of Britain or just England. But when I went to London, I noticed you guys, well, years ago, um, I got a ham and cheese quiche. That was when I still lived with my mom and her partner, and it was probably one of the best ham and cheese quiches I've ever had. It was 90% off because, I think it was getting close to the expiration date. And see, they don't really do that here as much in the States. I don't know why. Um, I felt it was a pretty smart idea that they did it there because then you don't waste the food. But that's what my friend Ben would say. He would say like, "Why do they waste so much food here?" Yeah, like he would throw away a lot of meat at his local grocery store. And it seems like you guys don't do that over there. It seems like if it's gonna expire, you do the smart thing, which is give a heavy discount. So I mean, 90% off is amazing. So, um, I think what Ben said is something about. I also, aside from profit margins, I also don't know if like there's like lawsuits that people could do with expired food that maybe isn't as prevalent in Britain. And it just all kind of sounds weird, eh? But same as in Finland, we got 30% off and 50% most common ones. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are smart too. Um, well, I will say the local grocery store I do go to, Grocery Outlet, it is kind of like a discount grocery store. So we do sometimes get discounted food at a really good price. But see, that's a discount store. If you go to like a Target, I don't think they do that as much. So like a big chain store, which is a shame because um, I think we could learn a lot from people well who also live in Europe. I think that's one thing I tried to tell my dad's partner Julie when she said, how are the people different over there? And I would say, well, I mean, they were born there. They were born and raised there across the ocean, or some say across the pond. But you can learn a lot. Um, and so and then I remember when I told Roe, because my dad's partner Julie will always say she's Anglo-Saxon white, but she said she didn't really feel a connection with the people when she went to England or when she visited there. And so Roe, who also lives there, just said, maybe she just didn't meet the right people. So she always says she feels a connection to people in Ohio, which is a state in the U.S., which is fine. Uh, but sometimes it's also good to expand your horizons, especially like if you have ancestors that once came from Europe. Because we really aren't Anglo-Saxon anymore, to be frank. Yeah, you see, I also because like I think what she said, and I don't know like how you and Roey would see it, but she said, everyone in Cleveland, Ohio had blonde hair and blue eyes like I did, and they looked almost like me. But her mom had dark hair but blue eyes, so but the exception to the rule. But you know, but when I went to England, of course there are people who do have those features, blonde hair, blue eyes, but not everyone, even, people who've lived in England for thousands of years, not everyone's gonna have the same exact hair color and eye color. And or even look exactly the same, because like I think with you, Maffy, I think you honestly look closer to my mom than to Julie, and then Rowie looks closer to my dad. At least I think so. But now I'm talking more about like facial features other than hair or eye color. But me and Rowie don't tend to think about. Yeah, I don't know. She also said something about feeling because she said her mom when she went to Europe, she felt at home there, but she felt home I think more so in Germany, which of course is part of Europe. And I think she was just trying to say that we we can feel at home more than I guess just in Britain, which is fine as well. I mean, I have an uncle Herman named Herman, of course. But yeah, maybe she just thinks about it more than I do. Um, but it's just like I would tell her like the way sometimes. I mean, I haven't talked to you in voice chat yet, Maffy, but sometimes even like when we talk in text, you remind me a lot of my mom for sure. Just like you guys are just both very witty, very witty, very smart with your words in a good way. Um, and so Julie, I don't know if she's the same way, but it doesn't matter really. But you yeah, it's and I know it sounds strange. Like that's why like I told you it was kind of like a paradox, because um, you'd think she says she's English, and then she has the ancestry that she would feel at home, at least to an extent, in England, but doesn't seem like it was the case. But I'll jump in a call one day. Yeah, no, it was actually my mom who said that she felt that was one of her favorite places to visit. And then I told Julie that my mom's name Edith is actually comes from Old English and I guess also a connection to Scandinavia. And then her mom's name is Eddie, which is like another way to say Edith, really. And then I have a brother named Eddie. So I got my mom is Edith, my grandma, her I guess maiden name is Eddie. My brother is Eddie, or you can say Eduardo, or that's in Spanish, or you can say Edward. Then I have another brother named Andy. Or you could say Andres too. And then I have another brother named Rafi or Raphael. So, and then I'm Louis, or a lot of people call me Louis. So, or some people, my dad sometimes also likes to say Luigi. So, and then his name's Siggy. And yeah, I just, um, honestly, when it comes to people here in the US, I don't know if I connect to specific regions. Like, I don't say, okay, so I go to, like, let's say I go to Alabama, and then, okay, I feel connected to everyone there. Like Julie would say, I feel connected to everyone in Cleveland, Ohio. It's more like an individual. Like, so, like, my friend Ben, I told you about him. Really big connection. It wasn't because he was from Jacksonville or because he lived in Florida, like I did at the time. It's because, well, we just clicked, and then his mom reminded me a lot of my dad too, and we just was one of my best friends really. So I think one time we went to like a local grocery store, and even though he was born here, he was like, he said something about you Americans don't know the fine quality of Gouda cheese. So even though he was born here, I think he still had, of course, I think his dad goes all the way back to the Civil War and things like that, but his mom was born in Wales. So I think part of it is like, okay, I am born here, but my mom, she was born from Wales. I mean, born in Wales, and I still go there fairly often. So yeah, well, he goes back and forth. So sometimes he'll say you Americans, and then other times he'll say us Americans have a history too. So he'll go back and forth. I think it's because his father, his line have lived here for a very long time, but his mom, came here more recently. So he has kind of both in him, which honestly I'm fine with. He's also pretty witty in his own way too. Oh yeah, but if him and Julie ever got into a conversation, oh boy, I could tell it could be bad because if she said something like, all the English are supposed or all the British are supposed to have blonde hair, blue eyes, Ben would say, ma'am, I don't think you know about the people who were here before. 'Cause like my friend Ben has like very jet black hair. Um, I think he has brown eyes too, like I do, but I mean it doesn't really matter per se, but uh, you know, it's one of those things. And regardless, I mean, people like you have to remember like Europe and I guess Britain, including Britain, you would have so many different ethnic groups, that have, lived in those areas for a long time, or even those who came later, they still kind of had to find a way to integrate with the people who are already there. And so, yeah, that's why it's, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes. Yeah, maybe that's why she felt more of a connection with German. I honestly don't know. Um, that's why, like, when people talk about here in the States, and I'll try to say it as nicely as I can, um, people talk about here about protecting Anglo-Saxon values. You have to ask, what does that actually mean? Because I think if we want to talk about who the Anglo-Saxons are, it's probably best to talk to people in England. People who, you know, um, were the Anglo-Saxons, I guess, at least settled. After they came from, I guess, northern Germany and Scandinavia and whatever. I liked Igil. I liked Igil Thorson. He's a Englishman that connects very strongly with Anglo-Saxon, but in a way that makes sense. Like he talks about his ancestry like Bjorn talks about being a Norseman, and I found him interesting. Um, it was more than just okay, I'm Anglo-Saxon white. No, it was like no, we have a culture. We settled here before the Vikings, and we fought the Vikings, and he told about all the history about that. And it made sense. It made sense. He also grew up there, and it just kind of, it just sounded right. But yeah, that's why I always like to get an idea of people who also live in Europe. Who are because even if we have European ancestry, of course, it's still good to see. Okay, what do the people over there actually think? The people who were born and raised there. So and because I think over here sometimes it becomes like a dystopia, and so that's why I think it's good um, to get the source, to get the source. But yeah, like even with you, Maffy, like I don't know if you dye your hair or not, but even if you have like blonde hair and blue eyes and all that, like Julie, you guys honestly don't really look that similar, like at least facially. Again, you just remind me a lot more of my mom. So, I don't know what she what she's expecting. They all have to look like this, and then they all have to have the similar like face or whatever. And then I tried to show her the Mormon look, the people in Utah who um, have learned, to branch out, because without doing that, they've encountered some problems. So, um, but yeah, I was just trying my best to explain it to her. I think she's understanding it better now, but. And Igio honestly doesn't really look like Julie that much either. And he says he's Anglo-Saxon, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, he has blonde hair and blue eyes, but they don't look that similar. Yep, never dyed my hair. I'll take looking like your mom. Yeah, like that's why like maybe Julie found it weird when cause like really my mom, I mean of course she is part Spanish, but she just aside from Spanish, because you gotta remember like you look at the admixture and people are more than just one thing. My mom just I feel like she connects really well with the French and the English or the British. It's just like she's sorry if I'm slurring my words. She definitely isn't like she calls her partner Scott a typical German. I'm not trying to say that in an insulting way, but she just fits so well um like all like most of Western Europe really. I mean, I don't know about Ireland, but at least Britain, like England, France, Spain, just that's the best way I can describe it. You know? So, and of course, my dad reminds me of Rowie, and my dad always says he's part Belgium or he's Belgium. I don't know if Rowie has some ancestry from Belgium, so I think French fries were invented in Belgium. So I know they don't call them Belgian fries, but oh boy. I'm laughing because I just imagine, you get a person from London and they're talking to people from here saying, we need to protect Anglo-Saxon values, and then the person from London is like, what do you exactly mean by that? It's silly. No, they ain't Belgian. They ain't Belgian fries. Yeah, that's funny. I think I heard the people in Belgium they put vinegar on their fries, kind of like how people put it on chips. A geezer from London would be like, "What values? I'm English." He'd be right, because that's where the English came from. Uh, well, there might be people here from the U.S. who might say, no, they didn't come from Britain, they came from America. They were always here. And I'm sure you guys probably do some eye rolls, but but yeah, that was one thing I remember too. Like when I would talk with Laura, she also lived in England. She would say they're not. Wait, no, they're what was it? Biscuits. Not cookies. They're biscuits. It was great. Yeah, because like here in the U.S., biscuits are like a floury, tasty, kind of like bread roll, really, that you have for sometimes can have for breakfast or whenever. And then like a cookie is just like I guess what you would call a biscuit over there, like just like a sweet, savory, um, snack. I guess that's the best way to say it. No, no, we have cookies too. Cookies and biscuits are two different things. Oh, okay. So maybe yeah, because I know she would always say biscuit. Uh, when like if they would say cookie, she'd say no biscuit. So my mom got me onto white vinegar fish and chips. Yeah. See, now I know because I also learned. I think in Britain, you guys, or I guess maybe in Australia too, or not Australia, New Zealand. Instead of calling fries fries, like French fries, I guess you call them chips. Possibly Irish. Yeah, probably. I'd have to imagine, you know. So, um, I don't know, like, would you call like potato chips chips too, or would you call it something else? Because or I guess if they're both chips, I guess it's fine. But well, I know you also said I think you were part Norwegian too, RPG, but yeah, let's see, just chips. Yeah, yeah. It's just one of those things that I see. I feel like even people that don't live in Britain or Ireland, like people who live in New Zealand and Australia, I feel like you guys still get it. You guys still like I don't know why, and I don't know about Canada, but we'll see. Canada is interesting because I feel like if there was someone who was probably the closest to us, and I know some of the Canadians wouldn't like this, but it probably would be the Canadians. They probably would say no, that's not true. But I've met Canadians that sometimes feel indistinguishable from other people here in the U.S. and probably my dad's partner Julie is one of them. Um, I'm Norwegian, Scandinavian, adopted by Irish Kiwi family. Oh, nice. Um, oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Biscuits. Okay, so I think the biscuits, I actually would have those at my grandma's house. Something similar to that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, well, if I ever talk to Laura again, maybe I can show her that. And if she still says biscuit, then I guess she can talk to you about it if you guys want to duke it out. Yeah, yeah, 'cause see, my dad's partner, I think her father's side settled in Canada. I think they might have settled in, no she calls it Nova Scotia, which is New Scotland, for those who don't know. I think it's Latin. Um, but yeah, she's even though she's, you know, had family from that settled in Canada, I don't know, she just, I feel like she's a lot more similar to people here than to people in probably Australia, New Zealand, I guess, yeah, all kinds of whatever kinds. Yeah, see, I don't know. See, I haven't. Okay, so I've met Josephine, who is Scottish. You know, she was born in Australia. Now I've met RPG, who's a New Zealander. I honestly don't meet a lot of you guys from Oceania. It'd be nice to meet more, because I feel like you guys are closer to people who live in Britain and Ireland, or I guess maybe even Norway too, to an extent. Um, or maybe I just have to meet more Canadians. I don't know. Oh, crisps. Oh, that's what you call them. Okay, crisps. Oh, I think that they say that too in Ireland. Irish crisps, like they put the crisps in in the sandwich. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I've heard of the Irish crisp sandwich. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how we, over here the words are different. Isn't cookie? I think. Wait, wait. Um, I'd have to look into some of that. Because maybe it's partially influenced by German too. I don't know. Chicken love a crisp sandwich. Okay, so it's also a popular dish in Britain too. All right. Yeah, that's what I notice a lot here. People, it's weird because I feel like people a lot of times will first say they're Irish, they're Scottish, or they're English, sometimes Welsh. But then it's like that. It's their happy face. Like their happy face is I'm these four. But when they're not happy, then they'll say, oh, well, it's because I'm German. And it's like I don't know what to say. It's like you know. And so I tried to help temper them just because I just try to say, well, if you say you're English or Irish or Scottish or Welsh, at least you know, you'll at least want the people, if you actually go there, or even if you meet people that come over here that are from Wales, or I mean Welsh, Scottish, Irish, or English, that you can show them that you at least have some understanding of who they are, or who you even say you are, if that makes any sense. Um, I have spoken to a couple of Germans. Um, and then also ones who actually live here too, who emigrated. Honestly, give me a sec. If you want me to be frank, I know that's something Laura would say too. Um, my mom's German girlfriend B actually reminded me a lot more of Julie, honestly. Um, but she was German though. She wasn't born in England. So I integrated well enough in the Midwest for 7 years. Oh, nice. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Julie would always say words because I think Ohio is also part of the Midwest. I guess I should know this because I was born and raised here. She'd always say things like very Midwestern. Um. Because I think a lot of people who were born there in that region, I think have German or Scandinavian ancestry. Well, I think Scandinavian's more Minnesota. Excuse me. But yeah, I think in the Midwest, I think there were a fair amount of people of German descent. I think. Oh yeah, that's where my friend Dolly lives. She's like Cajun Irish, so like she's Irish and French. But there are times where I can detect a wee bit of German, just a wee bit. She looks more similar to my dad, honestly. Feels like a second home. Haven't been in like 3 years or so. Yeah. Yeah. No, my friend Dolly lives there. I got along well with my friend Dolly. She reminds me so much of my dad. Um, yeah, I think the people I've met that were Germans, like Germans that either moved here recently or um, Germans that live in Germany. I feel like you can kind of tell. Um, they just um, hope she's doing okay. Iowa gets. Oh yeah, a lot of people would also when they would say I live in Idaho, they would say, "Oh, is that Iowa or is that Ohio?" But no, I think she's doing all right. She's been going through some things though. Could even be because see, originally Dolly and I, she was interested in dating me, but something happened, maybe another person, or something else. Uh, but it happens, you know. She was kind enough to get me ice cream for my birthday, and you know, she helped me out when I was in a tough spot. So I appreciate her for that. Hmm. Well, yeah, no, she just reminded me so much of my dad, honestly. Yeah. Like I would tell my dad, you know, she has these one-liners. Like she would say sometimes. It's something my dad would say. Like she would say, and I guess I'll try my best to replicate her. She would say, you know, you got a fat ass. That's those are the kind of things she would say, but that's like how my dad is too. She's very frank about it. But she's funny. It's funny. She also reminded me a little bit of my grandma as well. Yeah. Yeah, she's very frank. Or I don't know if there's another word for that. Maybe very blunt or something. My dad calls it one-liners. So it's kind of silly. Yeah, again, there are people here who I connect with. So yeah, sounds very blunt. Yeah, like my dad. My dad's the same way. Maybe she's even a little bit more. Because like my dad, what does he say? He says, he so whenever he goes and eats out, sometimes he'll say, "I'm trying to find a $5-bucker," and what that means is he's trying to find, you know, like either like a sandwich or like a plate or a deal at a fast food joint that's like $5 for a meal. So he'll say like $5 or something. But yeah, like again, there are people here that I do connect with as well. It's just like maybe it's just not as often. Like if I do, it's like finding a gem, you know. I think a lot of people here, um, I don't know. I just think, sometimes I think in my head, like when Julie says what she says, everyone in Ohio looks like me, uh, blonde hair, blue eyes, and I don't know if they even have the same face. But I ask myself, you know, did they? I'm trying not to be rude about it, but I ask myself, did they kind of inbreed like people like the Mormons in Utah? You know, I hope not. I hope not. But I just kind of I sometimes I kind of think of that like in the back of my head. I just remember one time she said, you know, I don't just want to be white, and then I said, well, you don't have to be. And of course, you do have a culture you can still connect to if you connect with your ancestors. Which is why I told her, you know, when you went to England, did you feel a connection there? I will say, I will give her credit though. She did say that when she went to Scotland, that she did have fun. She said the Scottish were very fun. So at least there's something there. And I think I also told her too that, because like with her, she was kind of neck and neck with Anglo-Saxon and Frank. I think with me, I was probably a lot closer to Frank than Anglo-Saxon, I think. Uh, Even though I had that match from Celtic Britain that actually matched with Saxons. I guess that was even before the Anglo-Saxon migration, however you want to say it. Yeah, I knew someone. There was an Irishman I knew. I think he was a comedian. I didn't know him in person, but I think they call him Conan or something. And he has a pretty interesting story. Well, interesting, but also kind of a little bit unsettling as well. I think he said his Irish family came to the States in the 1800s, but they didn't really mix. I'll try to put it lightly. They didn't mix with too many people, too many other people than outside of their own family. Um, and so yeah, I honestly don't know how common that is here. And it's something. Thankfully, my dad says, he calls me well diversified, which is, what the melting pot is, or well, at least it can be a good representation of it. And I think even that's what my dad's um, partner, Julie, said. She said, your dad and your mom really don't look that similar. So, well, it's not a bad thing. Yeah, Lena was another one too that reminded me a bit of my mom. I think that's why she calls me, she says you remind me of my brother. Lena, the Irish English Puerto Rican, or well, Irish English that was born in Georgia with a Irish English mum from that was born in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Yeah, she reminds me a lot of my Aunt Liz, which is one of my mom's sisters. Oh, someone left the Discord. I don't know who that was, but it happens. At least we got a new person though tonight. Appreciate the likes, by the way. Glad you guys have been enjoying the stream. At least we got 64 magic. It's not too bad. It's there. I'm trying to think of who else. I'm glad I'm remembering as well some of these connections I have. Let's see. This is going to be an interesting one. So I don't. I don't know if you remember, Matthew, I told you about a Scottish ASMRist I like watching. Her name is Shortbread ASMR. My mom, or actually myself, because my grandma, she lives in South Florida. When I would go down there, I would have other friends I'd hang out with at times. And I had a friend named Mario, and her mom looked very similar to Josette, or the Scottish ASMRist. Yeah, she looked very similar, very, very similar. So I remember that. Yeah, there's a lot of people, honestly. Um, you have a friend. Yeah, his name was Mario. Yeah, Mario, and his brother was Caesar, or it would be Sessa. Because I think that's I think it's more so Italian, really. Because I think Sessa is also another way you would say Caesar, or that's what we would call him sometimes too. Yeah, Caesar and Mario. And I would play a lot of Nintendo games with them. I play like a lot of Super Mario Bros. That was great. But yeah, no, his mom looked very similar to Josette, very similar. So, I don't know, maybe Josette could also have a bit of Italian in her. Well, I told you that I had a match with a Celtic Iron Age Czech that was very close to Spanish and North Italian because there were a lot of Celtic tribes in northern Italy. Yeah, but you're Luigi, yeah. Well, I do love the color green, so yeah, that's great. Yeah, the Spanish, well, I guess in my ancestry, I'm not too far away genetically from North Italians. Um, and we played Mario together. Amazing, yeah. And so when it comes to North Italians, I know a lot of people have this idea of who they are, but I don't want to say, who the real North Italians are, but all I gotta say is, if people say North Italy was always Germanic, I guess, I would say, well, it's technically Celtic before. But then, they would be right because I also have some Lombard ancestry that, well, the Lombards were really, I showed you them. They were the ones that communed with Freya when fighting the Vandals, and I learned I was also related to the Vandals. I guess they made up, but the Lombards, they settled in northern Italy in Lombardia, or Lombardy. That was in the medieval ages, though, and they were genetically closest to like French and South Dutch. So, but before then, there were, well, of course, Celtic tribes, which were in North Italy. So, maybe like I don't know, maybe Josette and Mario's mom, maybe they have Celtic ancestry from northern Italy, and maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Or maybe they could also have Lombard ancestry too. I don't know. Maybe they had ancestors that were the women with the beards fighting the Vandals. You never know. All I know is she also has a sister named Frankie, and I think they're twins. So I'm on step 4 of a hard clue. Oh, nice. Hopefully that's going well for you, Siller. Yeah, I think for me it's like depends on the test because some tests will say I'm closest to like the Dutch too, but at least on my true ancestry would say like Spanish, Portuguese, North Italian, Southwest French, South Dutch, all in the wildy. Oh, nice. Poisoned. Hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, I know my dad one time asked me, are the Dutch and the Germans the same? And I would say, not exactly. At least in my opinion. Let's see. When I think of the Dutch, I just think, I mean, aside from South Africa, I think of good plating. That's what I usually think. But I think South Africans are like more than just Dutch, though. I read recently they also had ancestry from like Germany and certain parts of France as well, so it might be more of a motley crew than even I know. Honestly, the people down there, some of them look really similar to my dad's partner Julie, so there's probably more to it. One good thing I can say about South Africa, though, to say something positive, because I try to do that as well, is the One Piece live action film. For those who have watched it, is parts of it is filmed there actually, and they've done a great job so far. So I think that's one good takeaway that we can have from there. Okay, here. I think what I've just understand really about Britain and Ireland is that it really is diverse, and not even just because of the people who have come recently, but because I think it's always kind of been like that, really. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. South Africa is a colony not so much like Australia, but still they have a mixed bag of heritage, including okay. So yeah, I heard a little bit about English as well. I just didn't really know that much about that part. Yeah, hopefully things get better down there. Maybe the One Piece live action film will help them, kind of help them come together. Hopefully. I know there's been recent news here in the U.S. about South Africans potentially immigrating here. That's its own can of worms. Not so much because they want to immigrate here, but because of the political motive. But yeah. Let's see. But yeah, hopefully it gets better for them because I've seen some. All right, fifth step, complete all wildy steps. Oh, nice. Yeah, old British Empire had Canada, India, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and a buttload. Africa, Malaysia. Yeah, you see, with South Africa, it's sometimes the reason why it's hard for me to talk about is because I also see a lot of poverty with the people there. Even people that were originally had ancestors from Europe, you can see them living in these tents and these rundown shacks, and I honestly feel bad for them, but You're big, brave. Oh yeah, yeah. The wildy can definitely be tough for some. Sure. Smell better. No. Give me a sec. I can't sleep. Noctile. Do some ASMR. Well, there was a another YouTuber from England that she did tell me when she would watch my videos that she did find my voice soothing, and so that helped put her to sleep. So hopefully, I know Rowie has fallen asleep to one of my streams before. But if it helps you as well, I hope I can do that too. Glad to hear. This is why, again, I don't, a lot of people here, especially in the US, they'll ask me, how did you get your voice? Or how did you find your voice? And I just tell them it just naturally came out over time. Um, she has fallen asleep to a few of your streams now, I think. Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, they'll ask me, like this one person at the grocery store said, "Are you from Britain?" And then I said, "Well, I wasn't born there. I have ancestry. I have some ancestry from there, or at least cousins, and I have some, I guess, shared ancestry. But no, I was born here." And but I think it's good to at least reconnect with like my roots. Yeah, still convinced you're Scottish. Yeah, well, remember I told you Josette and my Mario's mum, they looked very similar. Like so that's in my head. I'm thinking, well, maybe there was a time the Scottish were genetically closer to the Spanish and North Italians, and maybe French and South Dutch too. Because again, I had a match from Iron Age France when it was called Gaul, and the woman looked just like Josephine, who's also Scottish. So, and I know a lot of the Scottish when they go to Galicia in Spanish Galicia or Portuguese, or not Portuguese, Portugal, Port of the Gals or Port of the Gales. They feel at home there, the Scottish especially. The Irish do too, but I see especially with the Scottish, there's a bit of an extra layer there. So, and I know some might say, well, aren't the Irish and Scottish, both Celtic and both very similar? And I would say yes, but of course they're not carbon copies of each other. Well, I hope not. So, but and it's interesting because even Scotland has so many people that look different. Like there are people in Scotland that look like my dad's partner Julie, and there are people in Scotland that look closer to me. So it just kind of depends. Because I know in Scotland they had the Highlanders, which I think were more Celtic, and then they had the Lowlanders, which were said to be more quote unquote Germanic stock. Sure, they might have been mixed as well, but yeah, that's what I've heard. I think maybe Josette was a Highlander. Irish are everywhere. You're not wrong about that. So are the Germans, technically, because a lot of people that I meet that are Irish here are also part German. Bet you have an Irish bar within this. I do, yeah. I have a friend here. I don't talk to him as much anymore. His name is Sam Schnebley. He's like Irish, German, American, and of course he's Irish, but he's also in some ways equally German as well. So it's interesting talking to him. Excuse me, sorry about that. And yeah, he was another of my good friends. He also has red hair too. I have red hair as well, but just in my beard part of it. Mainly have more so dark hair, dark brown. Yeah, it's interesting too, cause I used to think I was well, my dad's DNA test would sometimes come out 20% Irish, then or 30% Irish, and then for me it was 10%. But then Josephine was like, "No, you're not just Irish, you're also Scottish too." I was like, "Really?" But now I understand it better now that I've seen my ancestry and seen the matches. It makes more sense. And that's a good thing, because in Ireland recently, I've seen news there that a lot of people there, um, you know, and I talked to Rowie about it a little bit, that they want to. There's nothing wrong with being Irish, of course, but there's one thing of being Irish, and then there's another saying, if you're not Irish, then get out of here. That'd be a problem. Because so I know my friend Barry, she was Welsh, and I think she had problems with IRA and in Wales, like they were breaking windows, and it's a shame because especially when they do it to the Welsh, because it's like we're family, that it shouldn't be happening. So, but I try my best, and I even know there are some Irish Americans here who still carry that negativity, that negative energy. Even like my Irish German friend Lotus, she's dating someone from England who's British, Laura, but then she's like, why are you, why are you with them? Why are you with the, I guess in her mind, is the English? And I would say, well, just because in the past mistakes were made, it doesn't mean everyone is going to be like that, and, we should also give people a chance to change, including ourselves. And so I try to help shift her, because, but then she'll also say I'm German, so it's kind of that it's a little bit weird. Um, so I don't know if part of it is Irish and part of it's German. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I try my best to be open-minded and also help people because I understand that sometimes we need that. We need that. And that's what I was trying to tell Rowie. Um, yes, things are still dicey between us and the leprechauns. Yeah. Of course, not all Irish are like that. I guess I'd be technically one of them, technically, because I'm sure I have at least a wee bit Irish, but and of course Scottish, and I guess English and Welsh. So I guess I have a bit of everyone in me. But yeah, I'm trying to think here. Um, yeah, so I know RPG would be one of them. Well, I know RPG says he's technically Norwegian, but he was raised by an Irish family, so that's one thing. Now, some of the Irish in Donegal specifically, one of them looked like my grandfather, my mother's father, Papa, and I really enjoyed him. He just reminded me so much of my grandfather, and but he had a good heart. And he also said, and I think some Irish could learn from this too. He said, we're known to be the forgotten county in Ireland, and if you move here, we'll see if you're a cunt or not in a month, and if you are, then we'll handle it accordingly. I don't know if you saw that video, but I told my mom, he looks just like Papa. He looks like my grandfather. I showed that to my uncle or my mom's brother. who's also called, I think, Uncle Ralph. And he said, "You're right. He does look like him." But no, he had a good heart. He had a good heart, and you see, it's interesting because it's just like with the Scottish too. Like there are some Scots, like my dad's partner will say, I'm not just English. I'm also, I mean, I think one time she'd also say she was Scottish, and maybe that's also with the Irish too, because there are some Irish I gel well with, and there are other Irish that and usually their argument is like, well, I'm German. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but a Scottish person could also say that, or an English person could also say that I'm German. I mean, I have an uncle named Herman, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna act like a cunt. My ex's mom once went on a drunk rant at me for how we treated the Irish. She's like 0.0001% Irish and has never even been there. And I was like, oh, and also drunk, to be honest, bro, what are you talking about? Never been there, and the bad things that happened weren't done by me. Yeah, I think it's more than just Irish. I think because if it's not Irish, it's German. Um, but even again, like my dad's partner does the same thing. If it's not English, it's German. At least with my Scottish Canadian friends, so if it's not Scottish, it's Hungarian. So that's a new one. He's like the Scottish Terminator. Get me to the chopper. I'll try my best to say it. Get me to the chopper now. Wow. No, no. Actually, RPG does a better Hungarian impression because I think I do have connections actually to Hungary from the Avars who were related to Northeast Asians, Eskimos, and even Japanese. But yeah, I know Hungary has their own motley crew of different ethnicities too, because you have the Avars, you have the Magyars who were Finno-Ugric. You had, I think, even the Mongols try to get in there. I think Slavic or Skeleveni, Scythians, and then people even before that. So that's why I have a negative view in America claiming to be Irish or Scottish, whatever, even Italian. But hearing you talk about heritage makes me feel better about it. Well, I also feel better too because I also tried to get a viewpoint on how people from Britain and Ireland feel about it, and also from a diverse group of people because again, specifically Ireland. Ireland is the place where I don't know what it is, but when I've spoken to Laura, like I told Rowie about Laura O'Brien and Joan O'Sullivan. Joan O'Sullivan actually looks a bit like Lena's partner, Mr. Morales, but they run the Irish pagan school, and one time Laura O'Brien, she was talking about keeping the Irish bloodline pure. And I found that very odd. I found it very, very strange, at least in my opinion. Very strange. And I don't think that's something that the gentleman in Donegal that looked like my grandfather would say. I don't think he would say something like that. But again, not everyone's the same individual. People, of course, thankfully, we're not all carbon copies of each other. Um, so that's why, it's also been good to talk to like Josephine and you. Oh, check your inventory. I don't see a rare yet. Unless if I miss something. But yeah, like I think it's just I think with the Irish it depends on which Irish you're speaking to. You know? I don't want to be rude about it, but you know. Thunk he meant you were full up. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I think when I looked at if I like when I had because there was one time it doesn't show up anymore for whatever reason, but originally when I uploaded my dad and my ancestry to my true ancestry, it said we were connected to County Donegal, which I told you they say it's the forgotten county of Ireland. And those were the people I connected with, especially that one gentleman that looked like my grandfather. That wasn't even my dad's side, that was my mom's side. I don't know, maybe they're just different than the people in Dublin. I don't know. No offense to Dublin, if people like Dublin, that's fine and all, but Donegal, to me, they just have something there that's just special. Or as a lady from Donegal would say, unforgettable. So I think one of the people there looked similar to my friend Ben too, who's Welsh. So yeah, we'll have you here for a month, and then we'll see if you're a prick or not, and then we'll go from there. I love that. Yeah, I don't know if people in Britain would say that too, but I find that kind of funny. Yeah, I think the thing too is Scotland and Ireland also sometimes have shared ancestry too. If you, especially also the Celtic ancestry. So maybe that's what I have as well. Maybe I have because I think the people in Donegal have some shared ancestry with like Scottish Highlanders, so it could be another thing too. Sometimes with the Irish, it's interesting because I think some of them they're like, we're not English, we're not English, we're not English, and they turn out to be almost. I don't want to say almost worse, but it's just like I think they. I don't know. I'm trying to find a polite way to say it. Because I remember Lena was like, um, first she was like, you're not Celtic, or she would say I'm 40% Irish. And I would say, well, you sound quite English to me. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, because I also have that ancestry too. But I think it's just the way they go about it. I think that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Again, she does remind me of my mom's sister Liz, so there's something there. I think at least with you guys in Britain, like at least with you and Rowie, it's been pretty good. And I have a friend from South Carolina who has lived here for about 10 to 20 years. He's really chill. The nicest people I know. He has blended to English culture, but you can tell he's American. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I feel like people like you guys, Josephine, RPG. I know he's in New Zealand. Josephine's was born in Australia, but still. Ben, Jolset, all you guys have been really good. So can't believe I forgot to mention him. Oh yeah, and that one guy from Donegal, yeah, was great. I think it just also depends on the people too. It depends on the people. And that's what the lady in Donegal probably would say. She would say the people. So yeah, I guess for me, I'm not. I'm gonna try to see how I can say it. You have a little mixed cultural group forming around you. It's nice. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of ultra, what do you call it? Ultra nationalism, like the kind of nationalism where it's like, well, we're gonna be a prick, and you know, no matter what you say, we're gonna be in our little box. I'm not a big fan of that. Whether it's in Ireland, whether it's in Scotland, or even if it's in Wales or in England. Um, but if people are like, no, yeah, like we want to get along, or we want to embrace our roots, of course, but we don't want to be a cunt about it, then that's fine too. Yeah, it just depends on the individual. That's what I've learned. It's the individual. I remember there was a guy from York. I don't know if he's from York or Yorkshire. Uh, he was pretty friendly to me, but I remember one time, uh, he said something about my accent because of the way I speak. He said something about, you know, if you say certain things in York, you know, people might give you a look. And I would say, well, if they do, I can always go somewhere else, you know? You know? So, that's, one way of looking at it. Or I'm sure not everyone's like that in York, but, or Yorkshire, but. I love my country despite its shortcomings, but ultimately I don't really care and we'll be friends with you wherever the hell you're from. Yeah, that's the thing too. I think people need to understand that, and especially after doing the ancestry test, it makes it more sense that because honestly, the Celtic matches from Iron Age Gaul or France, which was said to be one of the homes of the Celts, was a lot of times closer to Welsh and Southwest English than even Irish and Scottish. The modern day Scottish and Irish, mind you. And so I know some people might take offense. They might say, you know, you can't say those Welsh and Cornish are closer to the Celts than us. And I would say, I'll talk to them because uh, you probably wouldn't come out too well either. If you try to argue with them about it. Because I think the Welsh, or I think another word they say is that the Bretons have been there the longest, I think. People who've lived in Wales, and then also Cornwall, another place. And honestly, I believe them a little bit more to an extent, Um, and the Welsh just have such a beautiful language. Um, like I think even like when they say like Boreda, which I think might mean good morning in Welsh, or Thraig, which means dragon. It just their language is really nice. I'd have to learn more about the Cornish language, but yeah, I know they have their own dialect too. Yeah, I think my dad was ethnically closest, even though he said he had 30% Irish, he was ethnically closest to the Welsh. So that was interesting. Oh, another uncut sapphire. That's nice. Oh, there it is. That's what my friend Ben would say. I think he showed me a video of like a weather reporter saying that. Len Faro, Will Gwyn, Will Gur, Chu, Rindrup, Willent, we'll see, go, go. I think that I remember that last part. Yeah, go. Yeah, I try. Yeah, the Welsh just have such, at least my friend Ben, just and his mom, such good hospitality. So, it's like going to my grandma's house. They're just so accommodating. I think even that's what I noticed when I went to the plane going to England or London. One of the flight attendants said, would you like more tea, sir? And I say, yes, thank you. I think she appreciated the way I spoke to her, so. So yeah, that's why I sometimes would get confused with people here. You know, no one really speaks Welsh anymore. None of my family do anyway, not to my knowledge at least. Yeah, I think that's why I also like listening to Laura and the Murex. She reminds me a bit of my grandma too, my mum's mum. Cymru or Cymraeg, Welsh language. I notice in Welsh you roll your R's kind of like a bit in Spanish. Um, and I'm trying to remember if there were other words in Welsh I remember, but I remember draig, uh, why draig goch. I think that's how you say like the red dragon in Wales. And Amborada, and there's some other words too. Just a few words. On Irish, I know it, to say my heart in Irish, you would say Mulcree. In Scottish, Kimda how, I think that's how you say it. Hello, how are you, or something. Kimda how, or something like that. I'll have to check. I don't know Cornish, though. I have to look at that. Yeah, like, I feel like people here, they'll say they're English, they'll say they're Scottish and Irish and all that. But I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I need to try and sleep before it starts getting too hot. Enjoy stream, y'all. Alright, take care, Mafi. Glad to have you in the stream. Oh, sorry. RPG and Stiller. Are you guys still here? As well as Zeki and Nate? At least Mafi finally got to sleep. This stream helped. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream soon here. We've been streaming for over 2 hours, so I think it's a good run so far. Got 64 magic, so that's not a bad thing. Wait, let me see if Avatar's on. Or hope you guys have all enjoyed the stream. It's always nice doing this for you guys. There he is. He has the eye patch now. Gotta wait for them out here. Wait for people out here. This calls for this song. Well, I'm gonna give him something else. A flame. I think I might have traded the eye patch to him already. Hello. He's just dancing near the matcha guild. Sorry. Oops. I think Mog said he would be back in a wee bit. Hopefully it's not too much longer. Wow, someone dropped that. Are we still gonna runes? Yeah, still fine. Oh, miss it. Yeah, I might just sell it to Avatar this time because I think Bog, I know when he's gonna be back. Okay, we're gonna log. Oops, my god. Yeah. Hey Jay, glad you could join the stream. I think I'm gonna be. I just came at a time when I'm wrapping up. I just sold some Dragon Bones and Blue Tea Hide to a friend of mine named Avatar. I think I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream here soon because we've been going on for a wee while. Can always catch my next one though. Didn't get any rares tonight, but did do well with Blue Dragons and having fun with players, other players. So Yeah. Yeah, I usually sell it to either Avatar or Mog. It's usually pretty good. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys had fun, and hope you take care. You guys can still chat in the chat log if you guys want, or I can also send a link to the Discord. If you guys want to chat in there, I'll actually probably do that before I end the stream, so you guys can have another outlet. Got a 2004 section there, so. Alright guys, hope you take care.